The cooler temps ahead may have you fall into a slump, and it can be easy to fall out of routines. But one thing we should be falling for are new habits. Joining us now is personal trainer, motivational speaker, and happy, healthy human life coach, Michele Cuffe. Michele, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh my God, thank you. I am just so happy to be here in the Bay Area. It's beautiful here.
It is beautiful. And you came at a really good time because we have some beautiful weather.
It is absolutely gorgeous. Florida is a little bit hot right now.
I can imagine. Now let's get into who you are, what you do. But first and foremost, it's all about healthy living and longevity in life. But what first motivated you to approach life like this?
So I've taught fitness for 20-something years. I've been a personal trainer, but I've noticed that people think exercise is everything, and our health is getting worse in the U.S. 100 years ago, our life expectancy was 76, 78. It has not moved. So we're only the average age in America 78, when our telomeres, which is something at the end of our DNA, is telling us that we should live to at least 100 before disease starts. So why in 100 years, with all the advances in medicine, are we not living any longer? What's going on? Well, what's happening is that we still think we're living outside. So our genetic makeup has not caught up to how we're living now. Our DNA still thinks that when we are human animals, you're in a meat suit, I'm in a meat suit, we're supposed to be living outside, and we're not anymore, which is great because we're safe. So what can we do to get to those 100 years and live, you know, healthy and happy up to 100?
And let's get into some of those ways that we can do that. One of the first ways, avoiding stress.
Yeah, so stress is the #1 thing that's killing us in America. 90% of all doctor visits are always traced back to stress.
Wow.
Right, so when you're stressed, do you go buy broccoli, Olivia?
Not usually. I can't say it's my first answer.
Ice cream or ribs, right?
Yes.
We don't sleep. We don't want to work out. So it just goes down the line. So what can we do about stress? We have to find a way to manage our stress. We can do that by meditation. And what I mean by that is it doesn't have to be this. It can be biking. It can be running. It can be something that gives you joy that you kind of lose track of time. You can journal. You can, hang around happy people and just have positive thoughts. And I know it's easier said than done, but just to start it off, we have to get the stress in check to fix what is causing all this early disease and death.
Now, you mentioned sleep. Why is sleep such an important part?
Oh my gosh, sleep is like the stepsister of nutrition and exercise. Nobody thinks sleep's important.
Oh, wow.
So as humans, non-negotiable, you and I, we all need between 7 to 9 hours of sleep every single night. There are some magical things that go on during sleep, and if we're not getting good restorative sleep, we're missing out on all those magical things. We're resetting our hormones, resetting our enzyme system, we're detoxifying, we're, anything you ate today, and we're putting all our permanent memories into place. So think like Alzheimer's, think aging early in our brain. Sleep, people like to walk around and say, oh, I don't sleep, I don't need sleep. Well, studies show that if you don't get at least 7 hours of sleep, you will probably die. 20% more things will happen, like heart disease, you'll have a 20% increase, cancer, 20% increase. That's how important sleep is. So to sleep better, dark room, cold room. You need vitamin D on your skin every day to make serotonin, which then makes melatonin. There's lots of things to do to get yourself to sleep better.
And moving on, water is also so critical.
Water is #3. Water is more important than exercise and nutrition on my list because you have 40 trillion cells in your body. They all need water to function properly. If you do not drink water, you will suffer in the sense that your joints will hurt, you'll be sluggish, you'll put on weight, and you won't look good. And you know you want to look good.
We all want to look good, right?
So average American drinks 8 ounces of water a day. I need everybody to move to 100. Every single day, 100 ounces of water, and I promise you, you're going to notice transformational things in your health by just doing that tip alone.
And not only is water important, but health and nutrition as well.
Okay, so here comes the food issue.
Oh, here we go.
So the food issue is the big one, and it's so stressful for everybody. Okay, what were we given in nature? 2 things, plants and animals. And I know that sounds like, what is she talking about? Plants. So that's all we were given. We would forage for plants all day. We would hunt for animals. If we were to stick to those 2 things, which I do, I stick to those 2 lists. There's a lot more on that list than you think, and we can go over that some other time. But think perimeter of the grocery store, think vegetables, fruits, and think all the animals. And if you stick to that and stay away from all this other stuff, you're going to just live a long, healthy life.
And what about tip number 5?
5 is exercise. So a lot of people think that exercise is everything, and if they just kill themselves in the gym every day, they're gonna feel better. Exercise actually was called foraging and hunting. It was called walking around all day looking for food. So I'd like you to get 10,000 steps a day, every day, and I'd like you to hit the hunting piece 3 times a week. I'd like you to do a HIIT workout. So high intensity interval training for at least 20 minutes 3 times a week and get your heart rate up and sweat.
And you led that perfectly. Sweating, that's so important.
Yes. So here's one no one thinks is important, heat therapy. We are sitting at 99 degrees. If we raise our body temperature up to 101 degrees, magical things happen. Okay, so how do we get our body temperature up? We can exercise in Florida in the summer outside, or we can do sauna, hot tub, and steam shower. So when you induce a fever in your body on your own, so what happens when you get a fever? What's your body doing?
Well, you usually sweat or
Yeah, it's killing off the weak cells. It's killing. So if you're going to get sick, you get a fever because your body's fighting infection. So how about if we give ourselves a fever before that happens? So when you are sweating and you are in the sauna for 30 minutes, you're killing off any weak cells hanging around that might get you sick. You're going to kill them off ahead of time.
This is so incredible. Thank you so much,
You're
Michele, for
welcome.
joining us. Those were very, very helpful tips.
Thank
the 6
you.
tips. Well, thank you for joining us here on Live in the
Thank
Bay.
you for having me.
Of course.